Guys, I was hoping to Zoom in with you, but that's going to have to wait until Monday. Still not feeling well at all. Hopefully this was on the board when you came in and you've noticed they've done something to your password. So here's what you're going to need to get onto Google Classroom. And then we are going to actually start our math review today. So you're going to need a calculator. You'll find those in the front of the room. I'm not picky about which number you get. So just grab one, make sure it's working, and you need a pencil. Mr. Withers is going to give you the note sheet, but you will also find this on Google Classroom, and each one of these links you can click on them. Once you have a copy of these notes and the calculator and something to write with, I'm going to start going through some of them with you. Okay, I'm going to give you a second to get started, and I'm going to pull it up somewhere else. All right, so this first unit's actually pretty important, our math review. There's a few skills you're going to definitely need to get through physics. So we're going to cover just a few of them in this unit, and we'll retouch on them every time we get to a unit that uses them heavily. So today we need to make sure that you can convert numbers to scientific notation and then back to standard form. When we're talking about the mass of the Earth, okay, we obviously have huge numbers that we have to deal with there. So we'll be using scientific notation throughout the year. And you need to be able to make metric conversions. The meter sticks in class. We don't use feet or yards. So we need to make sure we understand how many centimeters are in a meter and things like that. And then we're going to use dimensional analysis, which you used a lot in chemistry. Sorry. And then after we get done with this stuff, we can actually start the fun stuff. So the first thing, and you'll see that down at the bottom I have my notes. So the first thing that we need to look at is scientific notation. So it's a number expressed in scientific notation has to be in this format: m times 10 power, okay, where m is a number between 1 and 9. Meaning, if you wanted to put 1500 in the scientific notation, you couldn't put 15 times 10 to the second. Okay, this number has to be between 1 and 9, so we would put 1.5 times 10 to the third. And n, the little exponent, is a whole number, so you're never going to have like 1.5 times 10 to the 2/3. Okay, you're not going to have a fraction or a decimal up there. Those will be whole numbers. All right. So let's convert these into scientific notation. Okay, the first thing that you want to do is you have to put your new decimal after the first whole number. So there's my new decimal. So I'm going to put 7.001 times 10. Well, to get from my new decimal to my original decimal, I have to move to the left. So that means this has to be negative. Okay, it's 7 point, how many spots did I move to the left? 4 spots. So we have 7.001 times 10 to the negative fourth. Here, our decimal, when it's not shown, is assumed to be at the end. Okay, so here's my new decimal, 6.0 times 10. Well, now I have to move to the right from my new decimal to my old. And so this is going to be positive. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 to the 6th. Okay. Now, convert to standard form. That means take it out of scientific notation. All right, if it's a negative, this number has to get a lot smaller. We want to move to the left 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, fill those in with zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's your standard form. We have a positive exponent, so we're going to move to the right. 3 spaces. So this becomes 7,060. Okay, now you should have 2 more at the bottom. These 2. Okay, why don't you try those real quick and then check your answers up here. If you need me to go back and go over any of these, then put a star by it, and when I zoom in, I'll do that with you. All right, you should have been able to do those 2 on your own, and we're going to move on. That's all we need to really talk about. Converting back and forth. But one of the most important things, and it's something I'm going to say over and over, even at the end of the year, pay attention to this. On our calculator, you never use the caret. You know the caret's that little up arrow? You always use this EE button right here. That EE stands for enter exponent of 10. Okay? EE stands for enter exponent. And when you use that, it means you're automatically multiplying by 10. So if you press that, and then you multiply times 10, then you're multiplying it again times 10. So never, ever enter times 10 in your calculator. I'm giving you a minute to write that in. What's weird is that when you press this into the calculator, if I press 6, I want to put this number in, 6 times 10 to the negative 11th, I'm going to press 6 second EE negative 11. But what it will look like in my calculator is 6E negative 11. They don't put the 2 E's in there, but that's fine. This means 6 times 10 to the negative 11th. All right, moving on. Okay, try this. Let's see if you can put this in your calculator correctly. I'll give you a second to do that. Okay, if you did it right, you should have this. 2.1 times 10 to the 11th. Okay, let's talk to the people next to you. If you didn't get it right, see what went wrong whenever you entered it. You should have this in your calculator, 2.5 EE negative 2 times 8.4 EE 12. If you put it in parentheses, it's fine, but you actually don't have to put this one in parentheses, and it should still turn out right. Okay, for the sake of this video not getting too long, I'm going to stop this one right here before we look at the metric conversions.